Hey. So it's Kelvin E with Copastatick back at you. So welcome back. And let's start off with the shameless plug of my book. Off to a Bad Start. A lot of stories I'm telling you up in here. So check it out. Go to Amazon.com and order it. Put in my name or the name of the book. Off to a Bad Start. That's my mug on the back. And get your copy. So last time we talked about, how gangs form and stuff. And I promised you I was going to tell you a story about, a gang situation. This didn't go down in Gary. This went down on the west side of Chicago. Now, this is about 1967, 68, up in that area. At that time, on the west side of Chicago, it was gang-ridden. I mean, they had gangs everywhere. Takeover gangs, walking the streets with their jackets on. I'm not talking about 200 or 300. You're talking thousands of gang members. These were mega gangs, if you will. Gangs like the Vice Lords, the Gangster Disciples, the Black Pea Stone Nation. This particular day, it was a gang fight. And in the summer, my sisters, one is 1 year older than me, one is 1 year younger than me. And they would go over to Chicago and stay a couple of weeks with our cousins that live on the west side, Francisco and Polk. Right off Roosevelt Road, near West Side, down the street from the University of Chicago. It's a rough-ass area. I mean, I'm from Gary. I know about gangs, I know about street crime, but I ain't know nothing about this. These people are out of control. They live in that area. It's very poor, West Side Chicago, tenement slums, maybe a block of apartment buildings, old wood frame, and it's like 3 stories high, 2 apartments on each floor. Between the apartment buildings, you had gangways that were like wide enough just to get through, maybe a body and a half width. And now this is before crack cocaine and big time dope money. Gangs weren't killing over gang control of the drug syndicates and whatnot. Back then, believe it or not, they made a lot of their money off of intimidation and stuff like that, recruitment. Because if you lived in those areas, you became 12 years old or whatever, you were recruited into one of those gangs. Now what that means is to be a member in good standing, to wear your colors and, carry the banner, as it will, you had to pay your dues. Be in a club, you got to pay dues. So you had to get out there. You're already poor, but you got to get out there and make some money to pay your dues. What a lot of these gangs did was, because of those tenements, on the back porch is where they kept their garbage. So you got 3 stories, 2 apartments per level, 2, 4, 6. So you got 6 family groups that's living in this one building, or 6 or 8 or whatever. And what they did was, you did not take your garbage out down to the alley. You put your garbage on the back porch, these wooden back porch, all rickety, and you put $1 or whatever under each bag or can of garbage, and the gang members will come by at night and take your garbage down from your porch down to the alley to be collected by the city garbage man. If you didn't do that, you need to move, because your life was going to be hell if your life, if you lasted. These were treacherous gangs. So they made a lot of money doing that. You're talking a city block, and that's Chicago, these big blocks. You might have 10 of these buildings on one block on one side of the street, 10 on the other. So you can do the math on how much money they were collecting from each one of these family groups. So this is how big and how much influence these gangs had. Look, I went over there after I got out of service and I got a job working at the Sears warehouse, you know, shipping clothes when people order through the catalog. I got paid. I went to a currency exchange right there on Roosevelt Road in, I think, California. And I went to cash my check. It's broad daylight. I'm standing at the window. As soon as I cash my check, at the window, a guy stick a gun in my back and say, "Give me your damn money." The security guard turned around and walked outside to have a cigarette. The guy took my money, strolled his ass right out the store, and that was the end of that. Now this, I'm like, damn. I wasn't ready. I was a country fool or something, you know, up in there. That's how things went down over there that quick. Anyway, back to the story. So my sister and them go over there every summer for a couple of weeks, and I didn't really go because, you know, I'm at recruitment age. You know, I get over there, they want to know what set I'm with. Yeah, I'm out of town. I ain't got no business up in there. So my mother said, "Come on, Butch, we're going to go pick up Debbie and T from over Lyra's house," to my cousin. So we get in the car, we ride over there, and we get off the Eisenhower Freeway on Sacramento. And we head down to Francisco and Polk. And I mean, it seemed like a ghost town almost when we got near their house because there wasn't hardly nobody on the street. The police had disappeared, everything. So we turn the corner, find a parking spot, and up on the porch I see my sister and my cousin empty out. "Hurry up, hurry up." For what? There's gonna be a gang fight. Man, we look down the street on the end of Polk, near Manual School, big ass school, looked like a college. And there's these two big groups of people, thousands. And it's the vice lords, and the Roman saints are squaring off against each other. It looked like something out of a gladiator movie. Yeah, all these guys on one side, bandanas, and they had baseball bats, brass knuckles, knives, swords, all type of stuff on both sides, you know, just like ready to get down. So we run and get up on the steps on the porch, and like, what's happening? Like, vice lords and Roman saints getting ready to fight. You know, that street, I can't remember the name of it. It was like a border. Well, one gang lived on one side, and the other gang lived on the other. Check this out. Like the warlord, or the vice lords, and you know, they had all their presidents or their different chapters and stuff all in front of the groups, both sides, lieutenants and generals and whatnot. And make a long story short, they had a beer bottle about 4 feet high. It's a beer bottle. And it was the biggest beer bottle I've ever seen in my life. And the warlord takes the beer bottle and he throws it up in the air, and they all yell, "Vice lords!" And when the bottle hits the ground and bursts and the beer goes everywhere, these two gangs charge at each other and start killing each other. I mean, literally, it was like a bloodbath. Not a lot of guns, but you know, just brutality. Swords, blackjacks, knives, brass knuckles, chains with locks on the end, all this type of stuff. And they're going after each other tooth and nail. You know, they all over in people's yards, fighting, carrying on. And so this goes on for a while, like a bloodbath. After a while, you know, people are injured, I guess dead, I don't know, they laying everywhere, moaning, bleeding, and carrying on. So the police don't show up. The fire department shows up with these the water cannons, and they start shooting them with these big water cannons, you know, dispersing them and breaking them up. Then finally the police shows up. They were all ready. They just let them fight and finish. Then they come, and then they had the riot shields and stuff, and they moved in, and ambulance came, took away the dead and wounded, you know. But I said all that because maybe some of y'all don't know how violent and how dangerous these gangs were back in the 60s and 70s. I mean, they ruled neighborhoods. Not like you know, today or back in the 80s when they did drive-bys with AK-47s and all. These were like gang fights on the street. You know, on any given day, you see a couple of hundred guys walking down the street with their gang jackets on, colors with, you know, weapons of choice in their hands. I mean, this was routine. And this is what you were dealing with. This is what people were growing up in. So, again, back to that question. You're like, why is he so violent? Why is he so prone to violence? Why is he suspicious? Why, why does he knock the hell out of you when you say something like, hey, you fucker, get out of my way. And then all of a sudden you get beat up by 12 guys. Well, it's not right, but that is the way shit went down. So you don't fuck with people, for one, And two, mind your own damn business, if you can. So that's that. I want to get that out there to let you know just how crazy this stuff was. And now, see, by me telling you that, I had to tell you that because later when I talk about gang activity and stuff, you'll have an understanding of how dangerous this stuff was and how serious it was. And when because I'm going to talk to you about the evolution of gangs, So for now, I'm going to tell you that quick story. I don't want to do these long videos, because I want you to get what I'm telling you without boring you to death. So we're going to leave it at that again. And remember, like this, subscribe to it, tell your friends about it, and then go to Amazon and get my book. Now look, check this out. It's an easy read. If you look at the words, they're kind of big. The space pretty good. Those of you that don't like to read, I got pictures. I got pictures in them, And I wrote this book for therapy for myself, but I also wrote it for the ease. You can read this book in an hour. It's not like you got to put a matchstick in it to come back later and all that. It's for the non-reader. Like my sister reads 3 novels a week. I don't read like that. A lot of people don't. This book, you can read it from beginning to end, and you're going to enjoy it. So go to Amazon.com. Off to a Bad Start by Kelvin E. Fawcett. All right. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Do what you're supposed to do. Hook me up with some likes. Subscribe to my channel. And tell your friends about it. All right. See you next time. Bye.
Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.